And welcome to the business segment. The head of finance of the University of Ghana Business School, Godfred Bokpin, says President Mahama should be objective with the state of affairs because market participants have a fair idea of the performance of the economy. He explains the president in his State of the Nation's address should spell out clear-cut policies to deal with the weak fundamentals of the economy to grow businesses and industry.
According to Dr. Bokpin, there have been some consolidation due to the IMF bailout program on the macro level in the areas of cuts in fiscal deficit, current account deficit and wage.
There are still frictions on the growth drivers of the economy, for which reason the various sectors of the economy may not be benefiting much from the current progress at the macro level, because it will take a while before macro level development actually translates to micro level. There are still issues about inflation, which is very high, 19%. Interest rate is still very high.
Dr. Bokpin indicated this reflects in high costs of capital, which is also an input cost for businesses. The economist observed taxes are on the minds of every Ghanaian, and therefore the president should give some indications on taxation to improve the business environment.
Certainly government can always get away with it because they've got the right to impose taxes, but I want to believe that the way we have applied our taxation over the years hasn't been that business friendly. Issues of tax rationalization, tax exemptions, property tax that we are not doing quite well when it comes to the huge informal sector. Okay, so all these things reflect in our low tax efforts.
The head of finance of the University of Ghana Business School said government must be careful not to overburden the faithful few because tax could be a cost of production. He indicated agriculture and industry are not doing well, hence expects the president to come out with policies in his address to the nation in improving the two sectors to drive the economy.
Basically, it's, the State of the Nation's address should just reflect the truth of how things are in terms of our strengths, where we have done well, where we have also not done well, which would enable us to actually fashion the right strategies to move forward.
And Finance Minister Tekpa says he's yet to be furnished with information regarding the closure of 2 of the 3 manufacturing plants of the cocoa processing company in Tema. The sector minister was in Parliament to answer questions following the closure of the plants more than a month ago.
The finance minister was in Parliament to answer an urgent question from MP for Kwadaso, Dr. Owusu Efriye Akoto.
We have requested the management of the cocoa processing company to furnish us with additional information. When we receive this information, we will come promptly to this honorable house with more accurate and factual reasons why the company closed 2 of its 3 manufacturing plants.
But Dr. Efriye Akoto was certainly not satisfied with the minister's response.
I would have expected that by now the minister who is responsible for cocoa in this country would have had some indication. But to come here to say that he has no idea, it means that what is happening in Tema is way down the priority list of the minister.
But the minister insisted cocoa processing is a limited liability company and the issue required comprehensive information in order to furnish the house. Other MPs waded in.
So the minister didn't see when they were not paying dividends, when the inflows from there weren't coming. What effort did the minister make to find out what was happening to CPC?
In a related development, Dr. Efriye Akoto again asked the minister the tonnage of cocoa beans imported into the country. The minister said the Ghana Cocoa Board granted permission to Barry Calibo Ghana Limited from Cote d'Ivoire in the 2014-2015 crop season to import 15,500 tons of light crop cocoa beans. But some MPs had difficulties with his answers.
What was the basis for granting permission for the importation of this concern?
The collateralization also covers, some domestic activity. There are other factors that are taken into account. The price, because Ghana's cocoa is a premium price.
Of the information. Otherwise,